Hello, welcome back to the Nowcomm demonstration room. My name is James Baly. I'm the technical director for Nowcomm, and today we've just received some of the new Cisco 500 series headsets, and I'm just going to unbox some of them so we can sort of see what we've got in terms of the capabilities, what they look like, what they feel like, and exactly what's inside the box. So there's a full range of 500 series. So there's a 5.2 something, a 5.3, a 5.6. So there's actually 6 different models. So when you've got the 5.2.2, it means 2 ears, 5.2.1, 1 ear. So they pretty much start down at the 5.2 range, going all the way up to more expensive 5.6.1 and 5.6.2 models, which are the wireless DECT headsets. So what I've got here, let's have a look at this box in particular. This is the Cisco 5.6.1 headset. And we'll see what's inside the box. Fairly compact little box, and one of these little plastic tabs to stop the box opening, so we'll remove that, and I will actually sweep away all the other ones. We'll have a look if we've got time at another one. So this is the 5.6.1, as I say. Okay, straight away there's a little instruction leaflet within the box. Tells you how to plug it in, very straightforward. It's actually no words, it's obviously multi country specific, not specific, or whatever the opposite of specific country is. International, that's probably the best word. International certificate, information, leaflet, etc. Further into the box, straight away, if you've been listening, you know that this is the 5.6.1 as opposed to the 5.6.2. Single ear. A lot of people prefer the 1 ear in a busy environment because they can hear what else is going on. It's total personal preference. A few little stickers which relate to the instruction booklet of where to plug into the particular unit. You can see straight away it's quite a well-made unit, nicely designed. The earpiece rotates slightly to make it more comfortable. This boom microphone is just secured with a little bit of plastic, more plastic, not so good, and then it swings down. So you can either have it on your left ear or your right ear, fairly obvious, and the boom microphone just swings accordingly. You can adjust it for size. There we go, right ear, microphone, that's it, and you can pretty much live with that all day. I certainly prefer these. These are an on-ear as opposed to over-ear type of device. A couple of buttons here. This one is it's got a telephone icon. I could go onto the camera here, telephone icon, so that'll be for answering, I assume, and the top round one would be to mute your microphone. On the opposite side of it, so on the front side in this case, you've got plus and minus, and that'll be for the volume, and that is it for that. Also within the box is the wireless base station and charging accessories. So we just take that apart. I'm not going to show you all of the things, but again, this is a non-country specific device, so you're able to ship these directly to anywhere in the world, and you've got connectivity options for power for all the most common countries. So there's the UK one, US one, European plug, etc., all within that box. Don't lose those if you're sending them to other countries or you're going to your home office in France. That'd be a nice thing, wouldn't it? In here we've got USB to what looks like an RJ9 cable, so that'll be connecting to the telephone. And then the base station itself, which is what would stay next to your telephone. Again, similar style design to the headset. So there's a little handy blue arrow. So there we go. The blue arrow corresponds to the blue arrow on the device, telling me to plug it in like that. So once it's on the docking cradle, it will be charging up. So typically you'd have it on your desk overnight, and then in the morning, come in, put it on, and away you go. You can see it won't go in the cradle successfully the other way, so it has to be that way. Also in the box is another USB to USB, male to male, and that's it. So that would then correspond to the USB connectivity on the bottom of the base station. So that is where you go from here to the telephone. So you either go USB to USB, where you've got a USB port on some of the phones. So some of the 800 series phones from Cisco have USB ports in it. If you're wondering what they were for, this could be one reason. So the USB port came out well in advance of the headsets, which are sort of new this year. And if you don't have USB, you could use a USB male here to RJ9 on the back of the telephone here. So that is the Cisco 561 headset. So this is the 562 model. As I said, you know it's the 2 because it's got the 2 ears. So very sleek design, movable headsets, adjustable for size, and then this is tied up with a little bit of plastic. The microphone, the boom microphone. So a number of buttons on it here, by the looks of it. Mute, unmute, volume up, down I assume, or maybe answer call. I have to check the manual for that one. Let's have a look in the other part of the box. A lot of cardboard here. I did see in the news that Cisco announced they're going to cut down on their packaging and plastics in line with environmental standards, which is good. Here we've got a USB charging cable, so it's USB to USB. Actually, it might not be the charging cable, it might be the connectivity cable. Unwrap very carefully the base station, and you'll see the whole picture will start to come together once we've got this unwrapped. Nice little bit of instruction on the actual base station as well. Okay, in the back of the base station, don't know if you can see this here, it looks like we've got some sort of micro USB slot. I'll just hold that for the camera. There we go, that's a bit tricky, isn't it? A USB slot which is connect with a picture of a telephone, so that's USB for telephone, and then power, importantly. So that would sit on the desk. Make sure I get this the right way round. That would go into the cradle for charging. Pretty straightforward. There's another cable in the box. I assume that's your micro USB. Yes, it is. Okay. And finally, the last piece of the jigsaw puzzle is the power supply. Or multiple power supplies depending on country. There we go, all the different plugs. Again, it's in line with the sort of the common way that manufacturers are doing it at the moment, so you'll get a single product that is available for multiple countries. So what they do is give you all power options, and that's very useful if you want to do some home office working from your French holiday home or your Italian holiday home or wherever it is, and then make sure you bring your plugs with you. As you can see here, too much plastic, but there's the UK plug. So plug that in, wire up the headset, charge up the headset, and then once that's connected to the phone, you can actually manage these headsets from your communications manager. That is a really big selling point from Cisco's perspective. It means that you've got an estate of many headsets. You can actually upgrade the firmware centrally from Call Manager or Communications Manager rather than having to try and patch manage them individually. So that's a real big bonus. So there we go. It's the decked wireless headset. A few little buttons on here in terms of call control. This one can actually be connected dually to a phone and a soft phone via USB sort of at the same time. So that's quite a useful feature. It looks like it's got a mobile connection as well. So I'd have to investigate, and I'll get back to you on that one. So, in a nutshell, there are 6 in the range. There's 4 in here. I'm not going to unbox them all, but I will have a look at this one. So this is the smaller one. So this is the 522. So it's a little bit more of a basic model. This is designed for more portability. So if I move away those, don't want to mix up the components. So in the box here is, this one has actually been unboxed, I wrapped it up earlier, 522, 2 for 2 ear, but on the end of this one is your typical 3.5mm jack. Now that could obviously plug directly into your computer, but it also comes with an adapter cable for USB. So more typically you would use it with that, and it's like a quick release button, so the USB would plug into the laptop or the phone. So do bear in mind that the 8800 series phones have USB, so it could be connected to a phone that way, and then you plug that into there. So if you needed to move around, quick release button, take your headset with you, come back to your phone and plug that in, rather than having to scrabble around in the back of the phone and plug in the USB. So a much simpler model, far less in the box. All you've got is your headset and your carry case. It also has the instructions as well. This is our most basic one, so this is the 522, to give you an idea of what it looks like. I've previously unboxed this one, so it's just basically a fairly straightforward headset. 522, 2 ears, okay, so you can rotate those and you can also make it bigger or smaller. It's got a nice little bit of padding there. It's fairly comfortable, I would say. Noise cancelling, high quality codec headset managed from Call Manager. Phone dependent, depending on which phone you plug it into. So in this instance, if you plug this USB cable into your laptop, it's not going to be managed from Call Manager. If you plug it into your telephone, like a 8851 with a USB port, then it would be managed from Call Manager. So don't get that wrong, basically. So plug it into USB. You've got an inline control, answer, hang up, mute, volume up, volume down, and then effectively a 3.5mm jack. So you could use this on your standard tablets, phones, etc. It would work as a regular headset for listening to music. Plug it in and you've got the headset. So that is the 5.2 model. The 5.3 model, this is the 5.3.1. Same sort of thing, same microphone. Interestingly, this one doesn't have any padding on the top. It has a similar arrangement with the cables. Similarly, they get tied up, but this has got a different release mechanism. So this is, in this particular model, this is USB only, very much USB only. If you want, there's one where you can specify DB9 with a USB adapter, and then you effectively connect the cable once you're at your desk. So this would stay with the phone. This will perhaps go with you if you're in a hot desking scenario or on your shift working. And you've got a slightly prettier control, which is designed really to be on the desk. So answer, mute, microphone, etc. So you can see that looks a little bit different, whereas this one's perhaps dangling from your cable. This one will be on the desk. Interesting. And then we've got the 5.6.2 headset, which is really top of the range. Very, what's the word, articulate, the earpieces. So it's actually flashing, so this one must be actually turning on when I'm doing that, perhaps. I need to investigate here. You've actually got buttons on the earpieces themselves. There are no buttons, there's no volume here. You'd have to use the controls in line, whereas here, because it's obviously wireless, you'll be away from your controls, so all of that volume control is on the actual earpiece itself. So on one side you've got the volume, and the other side you've got the call control buttons and the mute. And obviously, in addition to that, you've got a base station. So there is only one earpiece that has the charging, and it's designed to marry up with the blue logos, which I think you probably want to leave on so you don't get it wrong. So it goes away from the call control buttons. And then again, we've got more control capability from the base station. And if I go and just bring on, there we go, bring on the 5.6.1 model, you can see actually there's quite a few differences, subtle differences. Certainly the base station doesn't have the same capability. Not sure why they've done that, but there's certain differences within the model. But in terms of the earpiece, that's pretty much identical. So we've got the cool controls on both sides of the earpiece. There we go. Slightly, I would say, slightly awkward to go in. Some of the feedback is they feel that they're quite heavy, but certainly from an IT perspective, management, call quality is absolutely exceptional. They're very much geared towards working Cisco phones with Cisco headsets and then managed as an entire entity, which is quite nice. So this is not quite the full range. You know, we're at 4 out of 6 of the models. Come back later, check out more videos. If you like what you see, please hit subscribe, and we'll be back with you soon with some more new products.